Hello everybody and welcome to DanMachi Season 3 Episode 6 Anime Review. We got the ball. The ball is officially rolling in this week's episode. Belle met up with the Xenos again and figured out why you be killing people? That's not good. We should figure out what's going on there. Also, they managed to track down Ikelos Familia without too much trouble really. They got to them remarkably quickly. Like, how did they get the eye? How did Ryu get the eye? That's a real question right there. But no, it was another solid week, I thought. I think from now on we're going into proper fighty mode with, what's going on next week and then into the future, if I remember right, from the light novel. And that is good. Fighty mode is always a good thing. You can't argue with fighty mode. No, you cannot. But anyway, let's get into this week's episode, see how everything went down, and do this thing. So we start out with a very unexpected part. We see some old guy digging a tunnel. He's a bit insane, this old man, who we later learn is Daedalus. Daedalus, the guy who made the labyrinth in, Greek mythology. Was that Daedalus? I think that was Daedalus. But no, this version of Daedalus went a bit insane. There was a point in this part where he was like, he dropped the hammer, but he was just using his fist to knock the thing loose instead. Yeah, a bit loony. And then Ikelos has a little laugh. In the present day, that was in the past, should probably mention that. In the present day, Ikelos is like, kids these days and back then, they're all so fun. So presumably Daedalus was in Ikelos Familia originally, and that's how Ikelos knows him, basically. Then we go to Gross, who is the gargoyle. He's found the Ikelos Familia guys that got poisoned. He's trying to get the, he's like, I can smell the poison on you. But I'm just like, just look at his face. His face is half melted off. That's a pretty good indicator that he was poison breathed. Just do that instead. Apparently there's a door they got to go through, a secret door that the Xenos have got to get through. But then as he flies off, the raider dude is like, haha, but you can't get in because you don't have one of these. But then we don't see what one of these is because that'd be too easy. We see what one of these is a bit later on though. So one of these is not a secret for too much longer. Belle and Ikelos Familia are, moving in. They spot some flying Xenos and are like, okay, prepare for battle. For some reason, like the leader of Ikelos Familia can't learn this one dude's name. She calls him Momonga at one point, I remember, which I was like, hey, hang on a second, Momonga? You can't say that. You're going to get sued. No, not really, though. Lid and some others are fighting some humans. Ryu and Aisha and also Asfi are all in the dungeon too. Ryu and Aisha go to help because they don't know how to be sneaky. Unlike Asfi. Presumably because we see Asfi stay invisible, she later on goes in the cave with Belle and Fels later on and was going to re-emerge somehow. I don't actually remember if that happens or not, but that would make sense because she stays invisible. Anywho, Aisha and Ryu go and help out everybody. They do some fighting. Belle runs into Lid and they pretend they're off going to fight in the forest so they can have a chat basically. It was kind of funny going on. Lid tells Belle what happened and why they're doing this and everything, and Lid is lamenting, he's like, I'm a monster too, because really, I just want to, I want to kill the baddies too, and I'm just thinking, dude, that doesn't make you a monster, that makes you human, Wanting to kill the people that killed your friends, that makes you human in my book. I don't think that makes you a bad guy, Lid. He doesn't want Belle to help because that's going to put Belle, like he says, if you help us, that's going to, if you're seen with us, that's no good for you, Belle. Ryu then saves him from Lid, and then Belle, she says, Belle, go home. And Belle's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then she's like, okay, evil is involved. Take this bag of stuff I've prepared for you, Belle. You might need it. Don't know where she got the bag of stuff. In thinking about it, maybe she got it from, I know there's a spin-off that's just about Ryu. Maybe she got it then. I haven't read it yet. I have it. I own it. It's back there behind the green screen. But yeah, maybe she got it there. That's not too important, really. The important thing is she has a bag full of stuff, and she gives the bag full of stuff to Belle Cranel-san to use in his journey. Lid reunites with the other one, Gross, and they try and find the secret door. They can't get into it, though. Meanwhile, Dix gives his goon a stone. I don't know the goon's name. Gives him a stone to open the door, and then Fels meets up with Belle and the two of them find the secret door, but it's closed and the Xenos are nowhere in sight, so where did they go? Belle's stone that he got from Ryu in the bag she gave him then starts glowing, and it opens the secret door. What is in the secret door? It's a man-made dungeon. Words are easy to say. And then they're looking around like, what the heck is all this? And then on the wall, one name is written. I said it already. It's Daedalus. Daedalus made this dungeon too. Turns out he also made probably Daedalus Street. That would make sense. But the Babel, Tower of Babel, I think they said, and there was one other thing maybe that was Daedalus Street. Maybe I'm wrong there. He made a lot of stuff. Did old Daedalus. Probably got a decent living from just making stuff. Unless he was just like the architect. Maybe he didn't actually. Do architects actually build, or they just plan the building, right? I have no idea. That sounds like a fun job, but at the same time, if you plan it wrong, then it breaks and kills loads of people. Never mind, it's not so fun anymore. We then have Stealth Master's Hestia Familia hiding in a bush waiting for Belle to come back. Wilf has the idea that, hey, while we're not part of the main attack force, why don't we find the poacher's home base? That would be a pretty good idea. How though? Lily has a plan, and I was confused at this point. So Lily goes to see, well, they all go, but Lily goes to the jail to find this guy, and I have no idea who this guy is. Like, I racked my brains, I was like, who is this man? Have we seen him before? Have I forgotten something? I don't remember who he was. If you know who he was, answers on a postcard, please. The postcard is the comment section, in case you were wondering. He also knows the Xenos. He's like, you must have met those talking monsters. And he says, go to Daedalus Street, because he had dealings with Ikelos Familia. I think they said that's why he knows. He says, go to Daedalus Street, basically. You might find something interesting. The man-made dungeon called Knossos. I think we find it out later on, but I'm just going to say it now. They pronounce the K too. I always thought it was like Knossos, but it's like Knossos, which is a bit weird. That connects to Daedalus Street, so it's like a second entrance to the dungeon, which nobody knew about, which would make sense. That's how the Ikelos Familia are getting the Xenos out of the dungeon without anybody seeing, because there's a secret entrance that nobody knows about that they can use to get out of the dungeon and get out of the city pretty easily. It's a good plan, but why do they know so much, does Ikelos Familia? Well, there's a very good answer to that question. Very quickly, Hermes finds Ikelos, but then back to the dungeon. So the Xenos head into the trap. They know it's a trap, but they gotta save their friends, right? They save a few of them, but Ween isn't there, and she's the important one, obviously, because she's the main character. So they save a bunch. They got a load of injured people. Dix and the other familia members confront them all. And are basically like, you're going to protect all your friends and fight us off? Not going to happen. You've got dead weight now. It was a trap to get them to be weakened, basically. Because I'm not even sure Dix and his crew could take out that many without many casualties. Belle then shows up, and Dix is all like, whoa, hold up, how did the rabbit get in? Turns out it's because they also had the stone, as I said. And he's just like, all right, who lost their stone? Who lost it? And now they've got it. Whose fault was that? You know. Again, not sure. My gut is telling me it's something to do with the Familia Chronicle, I think it's called, spin-off with Ryu. But I don't actually know. That is just theorizing. We'll go with theorizing. That's a good word. Belle shows up, as I said. Dix, it turns out, is descendant of Daedalus, and you can know this because he's got these red eyes with a little insignia in it, I guess. Which is a problem. There's this thing called blood binding, which, if I remember right, it's something that basically Daedalus put on all his descendants have this urge, this desire, this binding to finish creating Knossos, because it's only got this big because of thousands of years of work and everything, which is not good. Also, the little orbs that are keys, yeah, those are the eyes of previous descendants just put into a stone. Like they pulled the eyes out of the corpses and made them into a key, because the eye is the real key. If you are like, Dix doesn't need a stone because he is actually a descendant of Daedalus, basically. Hermes has all figured it out as well while he's talking to Ikelos. The dungeon turned Daedalus insane because he saw the dungeon. He was like, I want to make something better than that. I can do better. So Knossos was what he's doing. He's creating Knossos to make it better than the dungeon. And Knossos has like motorized doors that open on their own. So like, if it was the same size, Knossos would win. So he's got on the right track at least. All descendants, as I said, for thousands of years continued making it. I think it's because of the blood binding forces them to. They can't just say like, well, no, I'm not going to make it, you know. I don't think that's exactly a choice that works. Everything they do, or have done, is for money to complete the Knossos. So all that selling the Xenos, that's just for money to complete the Knossos. Or at least they say it was at first. Presumably then they just got... They found it fun because they're messed up individuals, or Ikelos Familia. Kind of wonder why the rest of them are so on board with it. Like, yeah, dicks makes sense, but if someone was like to me like, hey, we're going to spend all our money to finish this tunnel, it's like, I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep money to myself. I've got better things to do, man, you know? Maybe that's just me, though. Probably is just me. So yeah, they do all right. They do all right. They did a good job digging the tunnel. Took thousands of years, but they got floor 18-ish? Yeah, 18. So they've done a good job, but that's the backstory of Knossos and Daedalus and everything, and Dix, I guess, as well, is that they built a tunnel for a long-ass time. Gross has heard enough exposition, as I think we all have by this point, and decides to just start attacking. Dix, however, is like, well, I'm not just going to stand here and let you attack me, that's ridiculous. He does this curse spell thing. Also, Bell blocks some arrows, by the way, from... protecting the Xenos. I like that. Dix uses this curse thing that makes all the Xenos, or not all of them, but a lot of them, go rage and start attacking each other. I believe the only two we see not affected were Bell and Fells. As important people, there may have been like people ever so other people around that were unaffected, but they're the important ones. Bell and Fells. Fells, says to Bell, if you defeat the caster, the effect will wear off. So basically, go beat up Dix. He also tells him that to use a curse, it's like a trade-off. So he must be paying a price for using this curse. So go defeat him. And despite the fact that Dix is actually a level 5, which is very strong, because he's got the curse on, it's weakening him. I think is Bell only level 3 at this point? I think he is. I think he's only level 3. So, and he doesn't have Haruhime's level boost. So he's a level 5 he's up against, but he's like a weaker level 5. So we'll say he's a level 4 to balance out. I don't think that's exactly how it works, but that's what we'll go with. He jumps in to defeat them, to return everyone to normal, basically, and that's where we end the episode. Except not quite, actually. We then cut to the rabbit one, the rabbit Xenos, who I don't remember their name, but they're returning. They've got the big guy back, who seems to be a Minotaur. So there's a Minotaur Xenos now. I'm sure that won't. Set Bell, he's got to be a little bit scared looking at that, because obviously Bell's not too much of a fan of Minotaurs after the last couple times, although he beat one, so he's not super scared no more. But Xenos are notoriously powerful, and also, like, it's armed. Like, didn't the one he defeat have a sword as well, but it wasn't a Xenos, it was just because he got trained to use a sword. I think I'm remembering that right. I think I am. But yeah, that was the end of the episode. Looking forward to Bell versus Dix next week. Presumably Asphi will show up. The rest of Hestia Familia might come into Knossos as well from the town entrance. So that's exciting. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it a lot. But what was my favourite part of this week's episode? Let's check that out. It was an exposition-heavy episode, which I actually kind of like. In fact, that's what my favourite part is. Specifically, Daedalus' backstory and how it relates to Dix. I like the idea that he got so insane, did Daedalus, that he was like, okay, everybody's got to do it now. Like, he didn't even give them a choice. It's almost a bit tragic in a way. Maybe Dix would have been an alright dude if he wasn't a Daedalus descendant. Although, probably not, because his name is Dix, and that's a pretty appropriate name for a dickhead. So yeah, maybe not indeed. Looking forward to next week. Hopefully there's some good old fights. I did notice that some things looked off, like not very well drawn. Which is, a bit of a shame, but it's not a thing that bothers me too much, I'm going to be quite honest. They played that kick-ass song towards the end. When Bell was going to start fighting Dix, they played the song, that plays during all the cool bits. They played a bit of that. That was nice. What else have I got to say? I don't really think so. Yeah, not who Lily and that were talking to. If you know who that was, flipping let us on a postcard in the comments, because I had no idea. And I like to think I'm decently well versed in this franchise. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I feel like I would recognize if I should. So maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me out a lot. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care and bye, guys.